Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. In this video, what we'll do is we'll try to learn a bit about filters and we'll discuss about this relative bandwidth filter, which is recently published open source script, and how does it help and how do we use this along with Auto Harmonic Pattern script. And also we'll try to discuss a bit about how to define this similar filters using other logic, or yeah, how can you define your own filters which can be used in conjunction with auto harmonic patterns or any of your scripts as well. Right, let's get started. The filters are nothing but a simple indicators which will give you signals to filter your trading decisions. So it will not really give a long and short kind of signal, but it will say that this is a trading zone or this is not a trading zone, and this is a trading zone for only long, or this is not a trading zone. This is a trading zone only for short, and this kind of things. Right. So the relative bandwidth filter is a volatility based filter. So it will this can be used to identify trade no trade zone based on volatility. So such as, like, if you want to trade only when during a volatility is lower or only when volatility is higher, you can use this filter during those conditions. Right. And I'll explain a bit about this filter as well, how it is calculated. So related, the purple line which you see here is relative bandwidth, and the green, blue, and red lines which you see, they are the Bollinger Bands applied on top of on top of relative bandwidth. So relative bandwidth is calculated with a simple formula, which is nothing but first calculate a band either based on a Kilton channel or Bollinger Band or Dungeon channel. So you calculate a band for 100 bars, and with the given multiplier here, it's ATR multiplier for Keltner channel, or for Bollinger Band, it is standard deviation multiplier, or for Dungeon channel, this is not applicable. So you calculate the band and then use this bandwidth and divide that bandwidth by ATR of 20 bars length. Right, so you can also configure these lengths. You can keep it a bit higher, slower, or experiment a bit as well. So ultimately, the relative bandwidth says this whether the bandwidth is higher compared to ATR or lower compared to ATR. So this means that if the ATR is high, that means if the volatility is high, the bandwidth will be lower, the relative bandwidth will be lower, and if ATR is low, then relative bandwidth will be higher. Right. Similarly, if the initial bandwidth is higher, the relative bandwidth can be higher, but it also needs to consider ATR into picture, right? So ideally, so that what it means is when the volatility is low, then this relative bandwidth will be higher. If the volatility is high, then this will be lower. Okay, so then what to do with these things? So you have the relative bandwidth, you have the bands which are calculated here as well. Now how to calculate the trade no trade zones based on this? So the indicator, this filter indicators can output four values, which are 1, -1, 0, or 2. So 1 means the only long trades are allowed, it's a long trading zone, and -1 means it's only short trades are allowed, it means it's a short trading zone, and 0 means no trade zone. You should not place any trades in that area if it's 0, and if it is 2, if you can place any trades, means there's no restriction. So that's how we can generate the signal. So that is generated, but you can't see the signal here because I've used a different type of plot for the signal, which is display data window. So it is not displayed on the chart, or it's not displayed on the pane, but it's only displayed in the data window here. You can see the signal here, and this signal here can be either true or 0 in this case. But ideally, when you develop a filter, you can also develop in such a way that you can return 1 and -1 as well, as mentioned in the previous, as mentioned previously. 1 means long only, -1 means short only, 0 means no trade, and 2 means all trades allowed. Right. Okay, so now you have the signal here, then how to use this and how to apply this to harmonic patterns. Right. To apply this to harmonic patterns, what you need to do is you need to go to the settings, and there is an option for external filter here. Check this option. So default value is closed. This always will be closed. So that's why, like, you can see that all the patterns and tables and everything disappeared. That's because the default value close is not neither 0, 1, 2, or -1, because the external filter values can only be those values. If any values which are not among those values, then no trades are done. No trades are done on um, uh, in the harmonic pattern script, right? So that's why you don't see any tables here and here. You only see this widget here. So to correct this, what you need to do is you need to select this drop down and select the signal. And note that this is a external indicator. So this option will appear only when you have this script also on the chart. If you don't have this chart script on the chart, this value will not be there anymore. You will only see this OHLC values, right? So I selected signal, but you can see that still there is no trades, and also this widget has gone as well. I'm not quite sure why this happens. This may be a minor bug in the Pioneer trading view. And also I'm presuming that it's because I have added this signal only in the data window and not on the chart. This may be happening because of that. So to resolve this, there's a simple hack. What you need to do is go back to this indicator here, the external output panel here, and select another value which is available on the chart, maybe relative bandwidth, upper, lower, or middle, or any of them. So I'll select this one. It will still not generate any trades, but you can see that this widget, the timer widget, is back now. So once the timer widget is back, what you need to do is you go back and select the signal again, right? So you can see that now the trades are filtered. You see a filter trades. So I'll do it. I'll just do this thing. I'll go back and unselect this option. That means that no filter is applied. You can see that number of trades increase after doing this. So 66, 71, 71, 73. You can see that it's 150, 178, something like that. So when you apply the filter, it will filter the trades a lot, right? And it will also change these numbers, probability numbers. So based on that, you'll have to see what is your trading zone and what zone will be easier for you and what zone has better risk reward and all these things you can study based on this. So there are a few other settings which are available here, like what is the desired bandwidth, desired volatility for your trading filter. So let's say right now what I'm selected here is a lower bandwidth. That means that I will trade this only when the volatility is higher, right? So if you want to trade based on the when only volatility is low, then what you need to do is we need to select this higher bandwidth. So when you select a higher bandwidth, you can see that these numbers will change again because the selection criteria, the filtering criteria change again. It's just still loading the script. Yeah, you can see that things have changed now, and you can see that it's a different number of patterns all over and different kind of stats and all these things. And similarly, there's another parameter, what's the reference band. So you mentioned that whether you want to trade only when the bandwidth is higher, but higher means what is considered as higher and what is considered as lower. So for that, what we do is what we use is this Bollinger Bands, high, low, and high, mid, and low bands. So right now, the reference band is selected as low. So that means that the trades are selected if the relative bandwidth is above the lower band. So that means most of the time the trades are selected. Only the trades are not selected only when the relative bandwidth is lower than the middle band, which is very small time, right? So you can actually change this logic a bit, and change this condition a bit, and you can, instead of lower, you can also select middle band. That means that you want the bandwidth to be relative bandwidth to be higher, and you will only trade when it is higher than the mid band of the Bollinger Band, right? So that again, the numbers changed and also the stats changed, right? Similarly, you can use a higher band as a reference as well. That means it will only select very few trades here based on, when the volatility is very low, then only it allows the patterns to appear. Otherwise, it will not select any pattern. Yeah, it's again up to the users how they want to filter it and all. These are just the options which are given by the indicators, right? So this is how we use filters along with Auto Harmonic Pattern UltimateX script. So it is not like these filters doesn't need to be used only with AHPUx. You can also define your own strategy or your own script, which can take such an input, external input. So if such kind of external input which will accept like 0, -1, +1, 2, and only these values, then this whatever the filters developed here or the developed with the intent of using with AHPUx can also be used with other scripts if they provide a similar template. Right, so let's say you want to generate something else, not volatility based. Let's say a simple another condition which says which makes use of the 200 moving average. So okay, so I've removed this because if I keep this here, I'll remove this one as well. If I keep this here, what happens is if I remove this indicator, it will close the harmonic patterns as well. I don't want it to be closed, so I'll just remove this as well. What happened? Something else happened. External pattern. I think I removed the external pattern. Not sure what happened, so I'll do one thing. I'll disable and enable and see if this fixes. No, so I'll change the timestamp. This should fix. Yeah, this has fixed, and then I'll go back to 15 minutes again. Okay, so I removed that one now. So I'll create another indicator and I'll use it. Just create a simple another one. Maybe I'll create a new indicator, which uses moving average filter. Right. So here the condition is we'll just use SMA, ta.sma. Let's just use Bollinger Bands itself. Right. So ta.bb, and the inputs for the TABB are like series, length, and multiplier. Series is close, length is, let's say, 100, multiplier is 0.5 or 1, let's say 1, right? So this is the bandwidth. So bandwidth will be equal to mid, high, and low. Lower, right? So we got 3 bands. You can also plot these bands here. Actually, plot mid color mid color is equal to color dot blue. So this is nothing but moving average, and plot higher, let's say upper. So this has to make it upper. Upper, and color is equal to color dot green. And plot lower, color is equal to color dot red. Okay, and then also you can plot bar, open, close. So just creating it because we are using in a different pane, not in the price pane, because there are too many indicators already there. So yeah, color is equal to if open greater than close, then color dot red or color dot green. So just do this and save, filter, and I'll add this to chart. Right, you got the band here, everything here. Now you want to add the condition. Let's add the conditions now. So let's say long trade is allowed only when the price is higher than higher band. So signal is equal to close or close greater than upper is 1 and close less than lower is equal to -1. Otherwise, otherwise 0. So that means that trade long only when it is more than higher band. Maybe we'll make it as 0.5 instead of 1 so that it will not be too choosy. So the signal is generated. Again, let's do plot signal, and signal display is equal to display dot data window. That's all. That's done. So it's already there. So you can see that the signal is 0, -1, 1. It keeps wandering. Now let's apply this to the external indicator here. So go back to this external indicator, similar method. So it's and then select the signal. See if this works. It didn't work. So go back to this and select the mid. And this has worked actually. At least the plane is coming. And go back to the signal and select this. Now you can see that the trades. There are no trades, but still there are some stats there. Like there are some trades happened in the past, but not really now. There are no current trades at present. So, and similarly, if you change, I don't have I didn't add them as settings. You can change the settings to use a different moving average type and length and all these things, and you know, do a trial and error on which condition is best, goes along with how many patterns are your own conditions. Right, and that's all for today, guys. We learned about the how to create the filters and how to use relative bandwidth filter along with harmonic patterns script. And that's all. Thanks very much, everyone. Let me know if you have any questions. Have a great day. Bye.